everyone, my name is Deniz Öztunç from Mechanical Engineering Department, and before I start with my Science and Technology presentation, did you know that a real spacecraft was named after the famous spaceship of Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon? Well, actually it did, and it is named like Falcon 9. And today what I'm going to talk about is two contributions of Falcon 9 to the space industry. And first I will talk about reducing costs, and then I will talk about increasing competition. I would like to start with my first contribution, reducing costs. But before I would like to talk about Falcon 9. Falcon 9 is a reusable spacecraft which was created by a huge company called SpaceX. And it basically looks like this, and it carries many weights over space, but I would like to show you why it is special. As I said, it can be reusable, which means it can land back to the Earth. So I'd like to show you the video of SpaceX landing. Please. And Falcon 9 is the first one that can do this. It can go to the space and land back to the Earth, and you can use it several times because of this. And I would like to move on. So I would like to start with reducing costs. As I said earlier, it can be reusable, so it is normally cheaper because you can use it several times. But I would like to show you the figure that I borrowed from SpaceX. And it's a fancy figure, but what you should look at is this place. As you see, a Falcon 9 costs about $62 million, and Falcon Heavy costs about $90 million. But what does it mean, right? We don't know the normal pricing of a rocket. So, to comparison, according to NASA, a space shuttle costs about $1.7 billion. It's less. It's really much cheaper. And according to the Elon Musk, which is the founder of the company SpaceX, and this is a fully reusable vehicle, and this is the fundamental breakthrough that will revolutionize access to the space. It's really a huge breakthrough as we use it again. It's a really important technology. And I've talked about reducing costs, and today I would like to talk about increasing competition. And actually, the competition started with SpaceX agreement with NASA, and NASA actually wants the competition to increase, so the prices will go down. So people think that if SpaceX had an agreement with NASA for transporting some important materials to space, why don't we do this as well? And they think we can get involved to the market, and we can find ourselves a share. And this really increased competition. According to the article in Scientific American in 2013 of Devon Powell, Antares, which is another space rocket, tries to creep up with Falcon 9. As you can see, it carries less, it's a smaller sized rocket. And it is launched about 3 years after the Falcon 9's first launch, but it is creeping up, it's trying to reach, and it is having a share in the market. And as I mentioned, NASA wants this competition as well. So this is the rocket of Orbital Sciences of DALS. This is a Russian and 50-year-old company. It's a really old company, but it's just coming back from the Falcon 9. And they want the same thing that SpaceX done, as I mentioned earlier. They want to send rockets to International Space Station. And I've talked about reducing costs and increasing competition. And having this much of big and important breakthrough can really contribute to space industry, because it can reduce the costs and it can increase the competition, and we will have the space age that we dream of much earlier with help of this breakthrough. So thank you for listening. Any questions? Here is my references.